Hello everybody, and welcome to This Is It, the final round of the P2 GTE Asian Championship. We have a special treat today. This is going to be a simulated 24-hour race. We will be starting at 4 p.m. in-game time and go around the clock to finish in the daylight. So hold on to your seats and be ready for this thrilling adventure. We are also in the last throws of this championship, so we're going to find that the points are as such. We have a situation where Roman Granatovich has won the GTE championship. However, he is not here today. He has suffering some he's suffering some things with his RF2, and he cannot get in the server. There's something blocking him with the deal. So as you can see here, this is the current point situation. Granatovich has a huge lead, some 46-point lead over Vandergeest, as well as Tony Salvitier, and then Edward Jones. So those guys, Edward Jones, Salvitier, and Vandergeest are all within about 6 points of each other. So the battle today for those guys will be for the second and third steps in the podium, which will give them good points going into Series 3, which will be starting in a few weeks. Of course, remember, this is Series 2. And out of the 4 chasing the cup, the RF2 Sim Racing Online Championships, 4 series year-long battle for the cup. So there you have the points. There are a couple of sheets. If you can see here, the GTE predictions, Granatovich, he wins the championship. He can't be caught. So he's out of it. Everybody else is out of it as far as winning. But if you look at the P2, we have a certain situations here. If West Steve wins championship, he's got to finish ahead of Carl Middleton, Robin Taylor, and Matej Descobeler. If Middleton finishes first, Westy must finish 10th or higher to still win. And if Taylor finishes first, Westy must finish 13th or higher. But if Carl Middleton can win the championship, if he finishes first, then Westy finishes 12th or lower. So something to look out for there in that P2 championship. And thank you, Neil Wood, for those predictions. Nicely done. So, with that said, we are about ready to go into quali. Let's get a look at some of these times that these guys have been putting in for practice. You can see Westy on top of the leaderboard there with that 152.2, and then Talvitier. No real times yet in the GTs. The server was just restarted, so we don't have quite the times up yet. However, those will be coming as soon as these guys get a couple laps. And we do have about 2 minutes to go until quali. So, with that said, now it's a good time to actually give our sponsor a little bit of love. Liberty Boots, of course, has been our sponsor this whole time. And let's give it a little shout out to them. You guys make it all possible, and they build one of the best styles of footwear as far as durability, comfort, performance, and safety. So if you need some hiking boots, some everyday wear boots, custom fit boots, these are all handcrafted in the USA. You can go online, give them your size, tell them what you want, and they will build them and ship them to you. Make sure you tell them that Randy Merrick sent you, and that will let them know that it came from this actual ad, so they can see that their sponsorship here at Sim Racing Online is paying off. So if you do need some footwear, give these guys a holler. It will help us. It helps them. All in all, it's good stuff. All right, back to the times. Let's see if anybody's got anything up there. So we are currently watching the Nick Westy. Let's get a look down at here at, let's see, Richard Charlesworth is on in the Porsche. Now, remember, if you were with us 2 weeks ago at the city, It was almost a Porsche Cup. A lot of the Porsches, people love this Porsche. This Enduracers Porsche mod is so fun to drive. I did some laps here yesterday. It was really, really fun. It's just a great car. Let's have Peter Villar. He's also in the Porsche. And Gilles de Silva is in the black. He's one of our current painters. Very nicely done. Ed Jones, he's been driving that vet all season. And yeah, he is also in the mix. So, as you can see there, don't want that view. Let's switch to somebody else here. Carl Middleton, who does have a shot. But they're all going in. Oh, excuse that. That is the rock block wall of the pits. So, let me turn this thing down here. Let me try and get a different view here. There we go. At least we're not looking at that wall. Okay, let me turn this volume down on this. I can see my replays coming through. All right. So, 4 p.m. start, private qualify. It's a 15-minute quali. We are now getting into that. Take a tour around the track here. We got some cars heading out, so let's go. Looks like Peter Jones is out on track. Let's get a look at him. Private quali is underway. Trying to get my things sorted out here. Qualifying box up there so you can have an idea what is going on. Looks like they're all out there. Let's Carl Middleton. Is currently first out lap. Wesley, Michael LaBelle. These guys are all out. GTE class. There's Richard Charlesworth. And there's Tony Talvitier. So this battle between Talvitier and Vandergeest for that top spot, or the second spot, excuse me, in the GTEs, open the door for the second and third step, and that is going to line up the point situation going into this third series, which, like I said, will start in a couple weeks, and it's going to be historic F1s. So this 4-series-long championship at Sim Racing Online started at the beginning of the year. It's going to end at the end of the year in December to crown the RF2 champion. And yeah, it should be something, a nice spectacle, a nice little treat for the guys. It's really great. And, you know, Merrick Farms and Liberty Boots is sponsoring that entire event. So I'm looking over here. So far, we're missing a few guys. You've only got 15 on the server. We're about 8 short. But nonetheless, we are here, and we are here to race, and race we will. Let's get a look at Matej Descombler. You can see he's currently 4th in the P2 class. He's 7 points behind Robin Taylor, who's in 3rd. Who is 4 points behind Carl Middleton in 2nd, but then Carl is some 24 points behind the leader, Nick Westy. So, as you can see, Matej is on a time lap, and he is purple in Sector 1. We have another purple in Sector 1, and that is Peter Jones. Let's switch to him really fast. If you can see, these guys have not put any times in yet, so they're obviously going to show purple. I believe he will probably be the first to cross the line as he's heading down that back straight now. Hello, somebody's coming in. There's your RF2 lag. And yes, indeed, that was Stefan Winham joining the server. So guys are coming in. Let's see if we can get behind the wheel here. This really, really tricky last chicane is, races are won and launched right here. You got to get that right. All right, let's see. Oh, Descombler puts the first time up 0.50, and Peter Jones jumps right in front of him with a 0.69. So some 3 or 4 tenths back. So nicely done. And let's see, where is Westy? Westy just put in about 1.4 off of that. So he's a 151.3. So I believe these guys are going to get into the 49s for sure. Let's check on Talvitier in the GTE. Get a good idea where he's at. Oh, he's heading into Spoon. It's the top of the track up there, Spoon turn. Hit the apex is just right. You can see a little smoke in the tire there. He probably had to get on the brake a little bit. Just goes down this back straight where, what is the alternate circuit? This is the start finish for the smaller alternate circuit back here. Pretty fun little layout as well. And he has purple and purple. Vandergeest has a 203 up there, as you can see. So let's see where Tony's at. He's showing purple and purple, so this might, if he can get it, that might have hurt him a little bit. Let's see what happens. He's going to hit the line here. I have a feeling he's going to jump to the top. And he does. A 2 flat, 0.7. So some 2 seconds quicker than Vandergeest. All right. Meanwhile, let's check in on Carl Middleton. Green in Sector 1. Currently 7th overall. Comes through this last little section. Currently down to 7. Let's see if he bumps himself up. And he does. He puts himself into 5th, so not a bad lap. With just under 10 minutes to go in quali. So this, excuse me, they're starting to figure it out where they're going to be. Peter Jones still on that ripper, though. As he heads up, he's just getting out of Sector 1, coming out of the S's. Up to the top there. In Degner curve, I believe that's called, turn 9. This 9-10, before you get to the hairpin right here, which is turn 11. Then a big sweeping right section, turn 12, up into Spoon curve. Let's see, get a look at what this looks like. He is yellow. If you hit this just right, you can kind of keep your foot in it. Oh, see, you lost it a little bit there. So he is off a little bit there, but he still has that 150.0. It's the quickest lap on trap. Let's see, where is Westy? Westy is not too far behind him. Here is Westy, and he's yellow in the yellow. How about Matej? Matej yellow in yellow. So these guys are coming in. So their fastest laps apparently are those first few, probably on the softs and low on fuel. So let's check Randy Merrick, one of the sponsors. He is in the pit lane. Now let's go down here to Vandergeest to see where he's at. See if we can put in. He's on an out lap. All right, so Talvitier with that 2 flat. He's leading the pack. Let's Rickard Charlesworth. He's green in Sector 1, so perhaps he can do something. As Robin Taylor's now coming across the line. He's coming into the pits too. All right, let's go back to Charlesworth. Get a shot from inside this Porsche. Oh, and he gets a little wrong there, but manages to maintain. Gets that chicane. He's still green in that Sector 2, though. Let's see what happens in Sector 3 after that little bit of a mishap. Currently in 3rd, and he is staying in 3rd. Some 3 seconds off that blistering lap by Talvitier. Holy smokes. We have a car off. Looks like Peter Villar got it all wrong there. Well, let's follow Jones's now. Is he on an out lap? Yeah, he's on an out lap. Okay, who else is coming through? Merrick is still in the pits. Michael LaBelle, he is also on an out lap. Gillis is getting ready to cross the line. De Silva in that black custom painted Porsche. Currently in fourth and bringing it into the pits. Okay, not happy with that lap. Oh, and Pichler. Pichler gets a time lap in. So Philip Pichler. Some 1.5 off as he just gets a little side drift going there. Nicely done. Starting another lap. Let's check on Randy staying in the pit. It looks like Merrick's going to start in the back. I believe he's just staying in. We got 5 minutes left too. So let's check on Carl. He's in the pits. Taylor's out on an out lap. Westy on an out lap. So is Peter Jones, I believe. Yep, these guys are all getting ready. This is their last shot here. I believe with tires and fuel, they're probably going to, for the last couple of laps here. Man, he is really pushing it. They're coming into that last chicane. That is a really fun section, that Sector 3, when you come down that back straight. And you can just keep it going for that left-hander. It's a high-speed, high downforce lefty or to set you up. And then you got a hard on the brakes for the chicane. As you can see, 0.69, so it's an improvement. Where is the Scabler? Oh, he got it all wrong. Yellow in Sector 1. So he's going to have to do some regrouping there. Let's check on the GTEs. And Vandergeest, has he got a shot? He's green and green, so currently in second, but he's got to get purple somewhere to get ahead of Talvitier. Talvitier's got that 2-second gap as Vandergeest hits that last chicane. Can do. He's a 2:07. Does he improve? Yep, he does. So now he's just a couple of less tenths back with a 2:03.86. Not too bad. All right, let's see where we got Carl. He's on the out lap. Taylor has started. All right, so here we go. Robin Taylor, as we are just about at the 3-minute mark. Coming out of Spoon. Down that back stretch. The speeds he's reaching there. So you can just keep your foot in it right there with all that downforce. It's amazing. And then into the chicane. Got to get this right. Take some curb. Take some curb. Hug it tight to the right. Put your foot in it. And he does. He did not improve on that lap. Or was that even an out lap? Okay, who else is challenging here? In seventh is Philip Pichler's about ready to come across the line. He is yellow and yellow, though, not improving, pulling it into the pits. Let's check on Peter Villar in that Porsche, not too far away. He's starting a fresh lap. That target time of 2 minutes, 0.7. He's about 8 seconds off on his first lap, but he was really quick in the last race, so I'm thinking that he just needs a good lap here to get himself up there. Getting through the S's. At least 14th overall. Coming into Degner curve. Turn 8. Excuse me. Here is that little section, Degner, and then turn 9. That's Sushi, the only figure 8 configured track that we race on this Suzuka course. Is one of the great features of this famous figure 8 at Suzuka. If you're an electric slot car fan or had electric slot car sets in the past, this was the most copied track with the figure 8. I tried to get Suzuka, was kind of their benchmark for something that was amazing. So yellow in sector 1, he looks like he's not on pace to improve that much. In fact, he's a 1.7 off in sector 1. So with that said, with the last 20 seconds here, let's see where we're at. It looks like Westy's happy to stay in the pits. Next to come across us for the P2s is going to be Pichler as he's heading through the chicane now, and he is green and green, so he might be able to move himself up. Currently in 7th. Let's see if he can improve. He's 4 seconds off that blistering pace by Jones, and he does. He moves up to 6th, and now he's only 3.2 off, so very good. And that is the end of the session. So guys will be crossing for the last time here. We've got a few guys out on track still, including Nick Westy, who's just going through the hairpin. But second place, Matej is going to cross the line again here. He is yellow and yellow. As you can see, he's having a hard time, so he is not going to improve. We have Westy here, currently in 3rd. And he's about almost a second off in sector 1. It's like Vandergeest closed in on Talvitia in the GTEs, as you can see down there, but still that 2-second gap. I mean, you look at these gaps as we go on to this racing hobby that we have, and 2.7, man, it seems like forever, but 1001, 1000, you know, that's how quick it is. So it's a matter of tenths and hundredths. It's really not that much of a difference. Matter of feet or maybe yards or meters as far as crossing the finish line. So green in the middle, but is he going to move up? Westy's staying right there at 3rd. So I think there we have it. We do have Carl Middleton coming back down, and he's green, but he lost it in sector 2 there. But green in sector 1, and Middleton moves himself up into 30. Jumps Westy. So that was something that he needed to do. So he got that part done. He's in front of him now. So these guys need to, get to work here. All right. That is it. I am going to try and set the grid here. And there we have it. So that is set. And yeah, there's your times. As we are going to move into the warm-up session. I think a 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll get on to that 4 p.m. start. We do have a Peter Villar. Looks like he's stuck on track somewhere. Oh, there he is. He made it back to the pits. All right. Very good. Let's see if I can find us a worthy view of good look at some of this track. It's just a beautiful place. Certain time of year when the cherry trees are blooming, it's just something to see. Beautiful part of Japan. Oh, session changing. We are now going into warm-up. So the guys can put some tires on and race fuel. See what's up. I am going to set up the auto cycle to show us exactly those things. The gap to the leader, the gap to the next car, and what kind of tire they are on. So that will be available to you as the viewer to check out. It should rotate every 9 or 10 seconds or so. It'll be changing. So when you see those numbers change, that's what that is all about. Very good. All right. Here they come. Batage out for a couple of turns. They come up the S's there. The start is going to be key here. Now it's going to be a manual formation lap, as are all the sim racing online events in this series, meaning that the green flag will fly, but the drivers will pace themselves on one pace lap as Carl gives up on that lap. Let's check out Joe Brown, who finally made it in. Joe Brown jumped on the server. Good to see Joe made it in that Austin. Anyway, back to the start. So it's a complete lap, and it starts on the last turn. As soon as you come out of that last turn, the race is on, and the formation lap. Now we've got this going into the night segment, so I believe we have a 15x. Time is 15 times. So for 90 minutes, that's going to get us all the way around the clock. If Mr. Vandegee's math is correct, which I'm assuming it is. So that will be something to deal here with at SUZUKA at night. I don't know. The track is lit, and you can see in this shot here that there are street lights. So I believe the lights will be coming on for us. So that'll be something to look at. Here, it's Talvitier getting his warm-up in. Just a couple of minutes left. Don't need this qualifying box anymore. Trying to get up to speed here. There you can see that hairpin with that really cool part of the track right here, where you can see the figure 8 going over. So you can see some guys are on the soft, some guys are on the mediums, some guys are on the hard. Looks like Joe Brown is actually on the hard tire. So, you know, it's telling me he's going to be going for it. Now, the track's going to cool down as they go into the night, so be looking for the pit stops to take effect just before the coldest part of the night to get maybe a different tire on there or change the pressures. We won't know till we see it. Talvitier following. They're good-looking cars. See, Talvitier's into the pits. There's Philip Pitchler. All right, we are about ready to start here. A minute and a half to go for this final round 6 of this P2 GTE Asian Tour with the Enduro mod. Like I said, the next series, Series 3, will be starting up soon in a few weeks, and it'll be the historic Formula 1, so that's going to be something to watch too. As we have a little crop dusting going on there. Yes, sirree. I believe that was Charles Worth. And yeah, Pitchler decided to join him there. Get a little. Also in Sim Racing Online, tomorrow night, Monday night, is the AMS2 Formula 3 racing. 30-minute sprint. That's a fun series. If you have AMS2, you can jump on board. Get on that. We got plenty of spots. I think there's 14 or 15 signed up. And then next Saturday, we have the LMU GT3 with the 2 new cars, and hopefully all the new bugs that came out with the update, as they always do, should be squashed by then. And that is going to be a transition race starting in the daylight going into the nighttime at Spa. So that's a 4 p.m. start and about a 10 p.m. finish, I believe. Those are 45-minute races, those LMU races. So lots going on there. We also have the special event, the Indy 250 Sim Racing Online, featuring the R-Factor mod. I think it's a 214 Indy cars, and we have testing going on for that right now. So the server's always up. You can jump on there, and I believe that is going to be in August for that event. 200 laps at the Indy Oval. So there's what's going on at Sim Racing Online. Among other things, check out our schedule. We've got all kinds of races going on. And here we go. We are ready to go. Get ready for the most famous words in sim racing, and here they come.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
All right. All non-essential personnel, leave the grid now. There we go. All right, so we will be on the grid and starting that manual formation lap. Like I said, the horns will sound, the lights will go green, and they will begin their manual formation lap led by the pole sitter. And there you have it. All right, so let's have a quick look at what's going on here. Peter Jones, P1, Matej Sescabler, P2, Middleton in 3, jumping over Westy, and Westy in 4th. Then we have Robin Taylor, Westy's teammate, Philip Fischler, Randy Merrick, and Michael Labelle finishing up the P2 class. And then Tony Talvitier atop of the GTEs, followed by Jean Vandergeest and Richard Charlesworth. Peter Villar will be next in 4th. And then in 5th we have Gilles da Silva. 6th is Stephen Winham. 7th is Joe Brown. 8th, Ed Jones. And Joe Brown going behind him. But, yeah, him and Ed have somehow swapped. Maybe that happened before the lap, but I'm showing a little bit of different stuff on my screen over here. So there you have it. There is your starting order. We will be 90 minutes going into the darkness. Here come the GTEs just behind. It's like a Porsche Cup with a Chevy and an Austin. That's what we have there for the GTEs. Nice group for the GTEs today, though. Got, it's like 16, 8 and 8. As we are getting close now. They're coming into the final sector, Sector 3. Who's going to be taking the advantage into turn 1? Oh, let's hope it doesn't get too messy. That turn 1 down here can be really something. All the top of the downhill straightaways. The start-finish straight down into that right-hander up into the S's is going to be something to watch. All right, they're coming out of chicane. The race is going to be starting. And we are racing. So you can hear the throats opening up. You can see Carl Middleton trying to shift on that. Trying to get around Descobler. As they're coming down, he's a drag race. Descobler staying with Jones, staying right behind him, getting the drop. They're 2 wide, they're 3 with their single file. Westy trying to get a nose in there. Westy getting thrown to the outside a little bit and just out of position as he tried to make a move there. Not nice of him. Meanwhile, the GTEs, here they come. Vandergeest holding his own as Talbitier jumps out to that start. All right, they made it through, so let's jump up as we are in the S's with Matej all over Jones. And Carl Middleton right there with him. And then you can see Robin Taylor and Nuek Westy, the 2 Black Hat Motorsports teammates, as Westy had that rub getting him off as he tried a little bit of a bold move there. But I think he's already gotten around his teammate Taylor, so you can see Westy right there in 4th. Nicely done. Meanwhile, back here, we got Charlesworth pressuring Vandergeest as Tony starts to get away already half a lap in. At that pace that Talvitier has is really paying off for him now. All right, quick check back up here as Middleton and Matej are going at it. Meanwhile, back in the pack a little bit, we got Fischler and Taylor duking it out. All right, and then at the back of the GTEs, we got Joe Brown and Ed Jones bringing that up. Okay, so we're back up at the top here in the pointy end. See Carl looking for a way, and he gets it a little bit wide there. This is such a high-speed part of the track. Into the chicane for the first time. Oh, and you can look on the outside. He's got some trouble. It's a Stabler maintains Middleton, almost made himself into P2 there. But Matej holds on as they come down the start-finish straight in anger for the second time. And look at that. First lap, Peter Jones, that 1.53. That'll be your fastest lap of the race so far. Only on lap 1. We will see what happens. Scares the pressure. The pressure for P2 is right there. Carl all over Matej. Meanwhile, back in GTE. Oh, wait. What's going to happen here? That's not true just quite yet, as Middleton trying to find his way. I was going to look. We got a pretty good tight battle with Vandergeest and Charlesworth just behind these guys, which is right here. So Vandergeest holding on to that. So let's jump back to this because these guys are getting tricky here as they head under the bridge and up into the hairpin. Good stuff right here. Let's see. I will let you guys have a look at the control map, at the map now, to kind of see where everybody's at. You see the two groups at 7th and 8th. This is Michael LaBelle there at the tail end of the P2s, and then we have Tony Talvitier just behind him. You can see he is currently 9th in class, so he is the dot there, the separation of number 9. But meanwhile, Middleton and Descobler are battling here. Middleton has tried to get around last time. And once again, Descobler shuts the door. This allows Westy to catch up now. Westy, after that first lap mishap, has caught up. Oh, and he's in the dirt. That's going to do it. Descobler takes the lead. Peter Jones puts a wheel in the dirt. And now what's going to happen here? Jones in 3rd, Middleton in 2nd. Westy pressuring. Wow, so Peter gets it all wrong coming out of that last turn and gets off into the dirt, loses the lead, loses 3 positions into 4th. So that's how it goes. Meanwhile, at the tail end of the GTEs, we have some positions getting changed places. We have Joe Brown ahead of Ed Jones, and he's about ready to get ahead of Stefan Winham here coming down the straight. Let's see if he can make the pass. On the inside, and he nicely done there. Oh, but he goes a little bit wide, and Stefan's saying, hey, not so fast, as he loses it, and Stefan jumps right back into that spot. So he'll have to regroup and put it all together for perhaps another lap to make a pass. Just ahead of these guys, Charlesworth and Vandergeest. So duking it out for 2nd. As we see Talvitier out in front, there is the gap to Talvitier. He's just like, hey, he has just got some kind of pace, this Talvitier. Meanwhile, up in the P2s, battling for 4th position is Philip Pichler and Robin Taylor of Black Cat Motorsports. Pichler gets it all wrong and he loses it. Oh, he's off. Let's have a little bit of damage. Oh, he's going to be a little bit dizzy. That was a spin. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Holy smokes, almost takes Merrick out. Oh, can he get out of this now? He's got the gap now to the GTE, so he's got plenty of room to get out. Let's see how this is steering wheel. Let's get it back together. Wow, he almost took Randy Merrick out. See if he's going to make it. He is. It looks like he was right there at pit lane, so he could have had a chance to get in. So that's telling me he is okay. So that is good. But that puts Merrick ahead of him. Whew. Merrick had a code brown there. I am quite sure when he saw. Yeah. Pichler backing out there onto the track. Pichler probably just so spun up from those multiple spins. He was probably a little bit dizzy. He could not see the track marker to know there was any traffic. Holy smokes. But we live for another day. Everybody's still in. We don't have any DNFs just yet. Everybody's alive. Meanwhile, Descobler, our new leader now, has Peter Jones on him. So Westy must have got it all wrong. Westy's in 3rd. Who was it? It was... Such that Pichler was Carl. Carl must have lost it. So meanwhile, while Pichler was having issues, Middleton was having issues. He's down in 5th. So we missed all of that. But he has got some kind of a gap to make up now if he wants to get ahead. But Matej doing the job, staying in front. And Jones, the first 3-4 lap leader, is right there with him. You see that gap right there as the sun begins to go down. Wow, was that Westy just got it all wrong again? Westy, these guys are just making some mistakes here as the sun goes down. So teammates Nick Westy and Robin Taylor, Black Cat, are 3rd and 4th currently, with Carl just coming back. Carl needs to regroup after that. Right along with Middleton here. Through the S's. Looks like he's okay. I don't see a lot of damage. His car seems to still have a pretty decent grip, so hopefully he'll be all right to challenge. Meanwhile, the headlights are coming on as darkness falls rapidly. Back in the G. Oh, there's a spin right there. This is another collision. Okay, Matej gets it wrong. Westy's going to take advantage. He's going to jump in front, and now we have another new leader. Wow, 3rd lead change at Peter Jones, as you saw right before your very eyes, as Matej got it all wrong. And where's that going to put him with Carl? So now the Carl right there. So there is Middleton. Excuse me. So, wow. I mean, we are not even, 10 minutes into this race. And these guys are going at it. Peter Jones putting the pressure on Westy. I wanted to get to the battle with Joe Brown and Stephen Wyndham in the GTEs, but I can't look away from this just yet because this is a battle for the P2 lead, and he's getting it a little bit wide. You can see Peter just losing some ground right there as they head into the chicane. Westy with the fastest lap so far, a 152.4. And a 1.2.5 is Peter Jones. So these guys are pretty even right now as they come down into the darkness as the circuit lights are beginning to come on. Very good stuff right there. Okay, let's jump back to this GTE race. We got Peter Villar currently chasing Charlesworth. He's not too far behind. Charlesworth is right there, who's not too far behind Vandergeest. So Vandergeest in 2nd, Charlesworth in 3rd, and Peter Villar in 4th. They make their way through. Meanwhile, Talvitier is just on another planet here. You can see his gap there. I mean, he's making it through the chicane. If you're looking at the track map, he is the number 9 car as he's coming across the start-finish. So that is his gap. It is huge. Okay, back to this battle with P1s. Or P2s, I'm sorry. There is Peter, Nick, and Robin. These guys are all within striking distance, so Villar they head into Spoon. Just such a intense left-hander. They're coming back down from turn 14 to turn 15. High speed lefty right here. Just a quick lift and back on the throttle. And then into the Casio triangle right here. And across the start finish once again with Westy in the lead. There are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 P2s. Randy Merrick will be the next one in 6th position out of the picture. And Pichler and LaBelle now. Pichler, after that incident, has just gotten around LaBelle. So he lives to keep bringing it, as this is the tail end of the P2s. Meanwhile, Matej is after Taylor now. We know he's quick from the pace. As long as there's no damage, he should be good to go. He might be able to get himself around. Woo! Oh yeah, he gets it all wrong right there. Oh, that's not going to help the cause, but he does keep it on track. As you saw right there, he really tried to take a dive on the inside there, and cost him a little bit, but he's still right there. So Taylor's not out of the picture, but here is Middleton, currently in 5th. That allowed him to close in just a little bit. He's just some 1.1 off. And up at the top, Jones, or as we see, staying right with Westy, keeping that pressure on. And down into turn 1 in the GTEs is Charlesworth and Vandergeest. As he's staying right there, he's just got that gap to under a second, 0.7. There's some 20 seconds off of Talvitier, though. Talvitier, I mean, wow. We're 15 minutes into the race, just under 15, and 20-second lead already for Vandergeest. Okay, back up here to these guys. Down the start-finish straight, we got Matej right on Taylor's tailpipe. They head up into the S's. Really, really tough to try and pass in these S's. You just got to be patient. Wait for opportunities. But he is right there. See, Taylor does a really good job there. Kind of slightly pulling away. Headed to Degner. Turns 8 and 9. They head under the bridge. Middleton all over to Scobler, so these three are duking it. Gonna have to probably work together to try and close the gap up there to Jones and Westy. Taylor gets the better exit on there as Middleton and Descobler fight. So Carl trying to find a way. Ace Motorsports driver Carl looking to get around Matej. We got the GTE traffic now. That is Ed Jones. Wow, it's going to get tricky now. As they're starting to lap the GTEs. Yes, sirree. The pucker factor is multiplied now, as you can see them all coming down that start finish straight as traffic ensues. Next to Stephen Winham right there. As Middleton and Descobler get around. Let's see if I can find that really cool view. This is Matej. There's Gilles de Silva's Porsche right there as he gets around. Traffic center is Carl, tries to go to the inside. They both take off. Oh my God, that was a contact. Oh, and more contact with de Silva. Wow, the traffic ensues. They're getting it all wrong here. Was that Carl just back there? Carl got the worst of that deal. Is he okay? Let's see what Carl Middleton. Looks like he's still got some straight steering, but oh my gosh. So there you have it. Traffic ensues as things just keep on happening here and more. Woo! Almost contact there with Winham. That is Winham right there. Yes, sirree. Wow, so now he's going to have to get through all these guys again. Meanwhile, up at the top of the P2s, Guys are maintaining that gap to under a second. All three cars. Peter Jones got around Westy, as we can see. That also probably happened in the traffic. Excuse me. As they're coming down, that is Westy and Peter Jones coming down the start finish, getting around. Looks like Vandergeest. Or is that Charlesworth? Wow, so they get through. Matej is next. So Matej is coming in. Matej is coming in. That's going to put Pierce. Meanwhile, Fischler and Merrick coming down. Start finish. So Matej is in for repairs, as you can see right there. So this could be, maybe he's just getting the tire change, just setting up for the pit anyway. We don't know. Well, we'll be able to tell by how long it takes him to get out of there. But I digress. Meanwhile, Peter Villar, he's in the orange Porsche, and Richard Charlesworth is in the blue. And then Vandergeest just ahead of these guys, getting the P2s through him. So Vandergeest is in the orange, blue, and yellow. Sim Racing Online, beautiful skin painted by Gil da Silva. Gil, one of our master painters. I got to get him on LMU, paint some LMU cars, as now they have custom liveries. And we do have teams too. So I've got a Sim Racing Online team and a Flying Crowbar Racing team that needs skins, Jill, if you're listening on the replay. And anybody else that's willing to paint. Meanwhile, the tippy top, here we go. Westy, who just got through these guys. Trying to close that gap to Peter Jones. Westy has the fastest lap of this race now, 1:52.4. As they come down to the Casio triangle. Going to be able to close in that gap right now. There's going to be a drag race down the start finish again. Wow, we've really had some bumps and bruises here today. Everybody's still in, so that's the good news. See Vandergeest there in the foreground in second place. Talvitier, where in the heavens of Betsy is Tony? Hey, there's Tony. He's just having a Sunday drive. He's some 28 seconds out front. There he goes. But meanwhile, Ed Jones and Gilles are having a little bit of duke. This is position in the GTEs. And we have Randy Merrick getting through. And you can see Gilles' car. He is also representing Merrick Farms with his paint job. Is Gilles on his black Porsche with Sim Racing Online. And Merrick Farms. Good way to represent. As you can see that tailbone. Oh, as he loses a little bit of sideways drift there. And Jones is going to challenge. But he holds on. De Silva. There's another beautiful paint job celebrating our sponsors. Merrick Farms and Liberty Footwear. Nicely done. All right, back to the tippy top. So, Westy and Taylor. There's Taylor. There's Westy. And in front is Peter Jones right there, your leader in the white. These guys are pretty stretched out. So this battle back here looks like Ed Jones is going to look for a spot to try and get around the Porsche. As we've got, I believe that's Jones closing in on him right there. No. Matej is back out of the pit. Michael LaBelle is closing in on the GTE battle. So that is the 7th place car of P2 closing in now on Ed Jones. And Gilles de Silva. Coming down this back straight, they're going to give him plenty of room. So LaBelle can get through. And it looks like he's cleared nicely there. And Gilles trying to get a little bit of draft help to keep that vet of Ed Jones off him, that giant V8 torquey beast inside that vet. Here, I'll show you how torquey it is. Give a listen to this. Listen to that, baby. That Rottweiler's American muscle. All right, meanwhile, Peter Villar is closed in on Richard Charlesworth as the P2s get through. That is the 5th place car of Fischler getting through these guys. Oh, and it's off. Charlesworth gets it all wrong and ends up in the grass, off the wall. Here comes Merrick. Randy gets through. Oh, that was a tough break for Charlesworth, as that takes the pressure off Villar now, who's, you can see, just got that beautiful gap now. So another instant of offs, but this guy's, hopefully it's just a little bit of body work. Here comes Peter Jones up on the GTE leader, Tony Talavitier, heading into turn 1 with the 2 leaders right there of classes. Peter Jones and Tony Talavitier, 2 leaders in class. This is a tricky spot, man. It's like, whoa, I don't know. You got to stand the apex. And he's going to try and go on the outside, and he gets it through. Wow. So next will be Westy. Here comes Westy. And Tony's going to the inside to let these guys through. He knows he's got a huge gap, so that was pretty smart driving there by Talavitier. He's got such a nice gap, 30-plus seconds, that no sense in as letting it through. And you can see that Nick Westy giving him a thank you, flashing the lights, thanking Talavitier for moving out of the way. Nicely done. Meanwhile, back here, Jones and De Silva are still fighting. Jones trying to find a way to get that Chevy around that Porsche. You would think that the Porsche might have the advantage in the turns, when that Chevy might have the advantage on the straights. But these guys are pretty evenly paced. So as they battle up the S's. Meanwhile, the thing, they've tightened up to under a second up here in the Robin Taylor is closed in on Westy. Still 1.5 back of Peter Jones is Westy in second. And Middleton some 11 seconds back. So, and DeScobler, after the pit stop, he is almost a minute behind, 60 seconds behind the leader. So he's going to need some driving and some pit stop help to get through this. As you can see, Talavitier there in the background, as these top 3 drivers in the P2 class head into turn 1 again. See if I can find that. There's your leader. There is the gap to Nick Westy. So Jones has opened it up a little bit. It's almost 2.2 now. But Westy and teammate Taylor, here is that gap. So that's what a 1.6 gap looks like. Or 0.09, this is less than a second gap. So if Taylor had DRS, he'd be able to open that wing right now. You can see the teammates here driving away. Meanwhile, back in the back, Matej has caught LaBelle, and they're using traffic as a pick. And he does get around. So Matej taking 7th from Michael LaBelle after the pit stop. I'm sure he's got fresh tire and whatever repairs he could get done. As we are just 27 minutes deep into this 90-minute race. And we are in the pitch black of darkness here. I think this is about 10 or 15 minutes away from halfway. Meanwhile, back here is Jones and De Silva. This is a great fight. I think Ed Jones just being patient, staying with Gilles. Try not to make any mistakes and wait for an opportunity. That's how it works. All right, and back to the top of the P2. You can see on the track map on the upper right there, the gap, the 1, 2, and 3. A little bit closer. And 13 and 14 is the Ed Jones and De Silva battle, if you're looking at the track map. You can see everybody else is pretty much separated. We got Peter Villar in the pits after that incident. Perhaps he's just on a tire change for the nighttime. I'm going to tank it up to finish. As we got 62 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Here is Jones. Looking for a way through. And here it is. This could be the chance. He's on the inside coming into that last. Going into the Casio triangle. He does get that spot, so he takes advantage coming down the back. Gilles going to fight back a little bit, but it looks as though Ed Jones has taken that spot away. Moves him up into 5th in class. Gilles hanging with him down the straight. Let's see if he can do anything about it. I would think that the Porsche might have an advantage in the turns here. Gilles working that wheel. Doesn't want to let him get too far ahead. Let him get away. See on the track map 1, 2, and 3 up there, the gaps are still pretty broad. As they're coming up to this traffic, their next car in line for Peter Jones is going to be the 15th place car of Peter Villar coming out of the pit. As it looks like Ed Jones is starting to build a little bit of a gap there. So let's jump up here. Excuse me. Merrick is in the pits now. Merrick is pitting. Peter Jones and Westy should be coming up on Villar now. There is Villar. The 8th place, I believe. As he kind of glitches out of the way there. So there goes Jones through. Westy will be next. And I believe that's Stephen Winham. Westy gets through. Next will be Taylor. And that is Stephen Winham, I believe. So once they cross the line here, he is just a lap down from his class, is Peter Villar. So as he lets him through, Stephen Winham there is up behind him. However, he is a lap down. So Peter's going to have to go around and pass Winham to get that spot. From 111 seconds off of Talvitie's amazing pace, who is now 44 seconds in the lead. Meanwhile, then we've got Joe Brown and that Austin. Now his next will be Charles Worth. See him ahead. There's Charles Worth in the blue Porsche. It's getting a little sideways. He's starting to close that gap a little bit. It's only a 1.6 second gap. And that is for 3rd place. So Joe Brown Doing some good work here. So we are under 60 minutes now, 58 remaining. Let's see, 8th place of P2. Randy Merrick is back out of the pits. Let's check on board with him. Merrick Racing Group, MRG. Guys do all their own custom skins too, just really great stuff. Into the Casio Triangle and that beautiful Ferris wheel all lit up. What a great track this is. There is Randy. Say hi to your kids, Randy. They're watching. And he has got, I believe that is Stephen Winham. The next GTE in Americ's way. He'll be getting around him soon. Meanwhile, 2nd and 3rd in P2 class as we stand by here for Merrick to try and get around. As you can see by the track map, not a lot of tight battles. However, the 14th place car, this is what the one we're looking at as Merrick goes through. That's what that bunch is on the track map. However, 2 and 3, and here we go for that. Teammates Westy and Taylor working together on team orders. Maybe they were in play as we saw in those first couple laps when Westy went wide in turn 1, and then all of a sudden he was behind his teammate, but then about 4 turns later he was back ahead of his teammate Robert Taylor, excuse me. Meanwhile, we haven't checked in with Carl for a minute as these guys are busting through the traffic though. Maybe we better just stay right here as these guys are getting ready for some GTE traffic. Joe Brown and Charlesworth. This is the battle for 3rd in GTE and also 3rd and 2nd in P2. So some serious points here as you see Westy getting through. Westy gets around Brown. That's Joe Brown in the Austin. And Taylor looks but can't make it just yet. He's going to have to wait a couple turns. And now he gets through. All right. Now Charlesworth will be the next. And looks like Westy goes to the inside. And Taylor going to follow suit and go to the inside as they get around. And that was pretty well done. Didn't cost Richard Charlesworth any time and position on his little bit of a gap over Joe Brown there. However, Joe is coming, and there he is. And that is Carl Middleton next. Get through, and he does. Nicely done. Everybody's in one piece. Wow. I just want to say, I don't want to jinx anything, so maybe I shouldn't even say it, but we are under an hour, 54 minutes yet, and we don't have any DNFs. I said it. Okay, let's hope I didn't jinx it. But, oh well. If I did, I did. Meanwhile, this battle, I don't think that Taylor is going to really push the case with Westy. I don't know, though. Probably no team orders. And Taylor wants points, too. Remember, this is a 4-series year-long championship quest for the Cup. So every point matters because everything carries over to the next series, which will be historic Formula One. Could be quite exciting. We'll be bringing that to you live as well with our sponsors Liberty Boots and Merrick Farms. So here's this battle just behind these guys. Joe Brown. About second back, 1.1. It jumps around from 1.1 to 0.8 as he closes in that Austin. Getting it done there. Vandergeest will be next in line for the battle for second to pass. Here is John Vandergeest with Nick Westy closing in and getting through as Vandergeest just wisely gets. room to the inside for those two P2s to get through. Nicely done, Mr. Vandergeest. Vandergeest enjoying his little bit of a gap to these two. I see he got 10 seconds on Charlesworth. And Salvitier's just under a minute of a gap back to second place Vandergeest. So Tony, there is Vandergeest. He's getting data from the mother spaceship up above, sending him news of the event. His alien spacecraft above, sending data to his alien driving brain behind this Porsche. That's quite something. Okay, we got close. Things are tightening up here. So we see Taylor takes it a little bit wide. He did close that gap really tight there for a minute, but it looks like a little bit of a mistake. But Carl Middleton just hanging out. He's only 2 seconds back of this group. There is the gap to third. So Carl making a horrific comeback here after the incidents he had, as well as Descobler is in sixth, not too far back. It's about 39, 40 seconds back of this group is Descobler. Descobler here, you can see him now. Fastest lap of the race is still Nick Westy at 152.4. And meanwhile, Joe Brown still hanging with Charlesworth. However, that gap remains right around 1.2, 1.1. Dipping into the 0.9s, 0.8 in little sections, but very, very consistent. Charlesworth is hanging on. Oh, Carl. Carl was just tightening it up. Hang on to it, Carl. Oh, Middleton. Tough break for Carl. Where's the nearest car? He's got plenty of room, but here comes the 10th place car of Jean Vandergeest. He'll be next, coming around the corner right there. Look out, Vandergeest. Man, Carl had just closed that gap, and then that happened. Oh, he's probably kicking himself. All right, the leaders are going through. That's Gilles de Silva in the Porsche. And that is also, I think, Michael LaBelle getting lapped. Is that LaBelle right there? Yeah, there's LaBelle. He is a lap down in the white car. So Jones just lapped him. Westy's now some 6 seconds back, so something must have happened there. Because there is the gap to Westy. And Taylor must have had an off too. Because he's now some 25 seconds back of Middleton, so something happened that we missed. I'm sorry. So much stuff going on. I can't keep a track of everything. But there is, I believe that's Westy now getting around to Silva. So the gaps that were all at one point in time 1 to 2 seconds are now 6 plus seconds. Joe Brown and Charlesworth is about a 2.5 second gap. Middleton has gotten third place again, though. Remember, Middleton had the off, so Taylor must have really made a mistake that we missed that allowed Carl, because Carl had just had an off. Even though he had closed that gap, it was just about to be about a second. Right when I switched to him, he spun off, but then that must have been when Taylor had his incident, because Carl is now back on the podium. I don't see any way for Westy to lose this championship. He has to finish like 12th or 13th, but there's only 8 spots. So even if he finishes last in class, he'll be in 8th position. So, spoiler alert, I think our 2 champions are going to be Roman Granatovich and Nick Westy. But we are racing for points, and these points carry over to the next series, the Formula One Historic Series. Let me see if I can get you some more details on that. So, here we go. This third series, it's going to be the F1 1984 cars. So, oh boy, hold on. That is going to be something. Yep, all the same drivers plus anybody else that might want to join. We got 19 entries so far. As here comes into the pit is Middleton. So, and who else is in the pit? Is LaBelle is also in the pit. So Westy going out. Gonna second place. Still some 8 seconds back at Jones. Meanwhile, this battle between Charlesworth and Brown is still ongoing. Although the gap grew a little bit there, he's now tightened it all the way up to basically on his bumper. They are coming down the start finish. It's going to be a drag race to turn 1. Can he close it up? These cars are really evenly paced. He looks to the inside, but it's not going to hurt him on the outside. He's got a little bit of curb. He's getting a little, both of them getting a little sideways. Oh, I had a feeling that was going to happen. He just went in a little bit hot. Cost him a little bit of a gap. And that is the 5th place car of Matej Descobler. Closing in on these two. You can see him in the foreground there. Yes. Richard takes a little bit of curb there. And whoa. I wonder if these guys are showing a little bit of tire wear now. We're about at the halfway point. We're about a minute and a half of being halfway through this race. I can see the clouds lightening up. It's starting to get daylight. As you can see there, he goes off again. So Joe Brown, I believe, 45 minutes in, has been pushing this car pretty hard. He's in trouble. I think he's going to have to come in for some tires. As Descobler is going to get through here at the hairpin and let him underneath. No harm, no foul. There we go. So Matej gets through, increasing that gap. And Charlesworth will be next for Matej. And there he goes now on the inside, and hello. Whoa, we're getting a little bit of server warp, I think, on these guys. I'm starting to see a little bit of funny stuff. That's what is known in sim racing is RF2 things. Network has a big part, plays a big part in sim racing, and it's the World Wide Web, and anything can happen. We got underground family. Oh, Richard gets it loose, and he is off. Charlesworth, as you saw, went all the way off, and he is still off. That's going to allow Brown to get through, and oh my goodness, I'm telling you, these guys are just about done with their tires. He's in trouble. Bring it in, man, and he's staying out. So whatever the case, he is staying out. I would bet money that he has seriously worn tires on that car. But yet they're staying out. Maybe he's going to wait, and if Joe pits, he's going to pit. Maybe that's the game he is playing. I don't know. Meanwhile, from the tail end, Peter Villar, he's coming in. So Villar's pitting. Yet again, he pitted once. So look and see, we do have some server warp going on here. So let's get up to the leaders here. Things are getting a little goofy here on the server. And it could be independent clients, but you saw the warp. It could be on my end too. I don't know. I'm all the way across the pond coming to you from beautiful Pacific Northwest in Washington. Across the Puget Sound in a little town called Port Orchard. Coming to you live. Broadcasting in 1440. So if you can crank it up, we are in basically like 3K, I guess you would call that. 1440p is what we are broadcasting in. So don't settle for that 720 and 1080 stuff. You can crank it up, and it's pretty pixel free. It's a nice broadcast. All right. Villar back in the pits. These guys are all starting to get a little slippery here. Perhaps the cold track might have something to do with it too. Right behind Westy now. He is almost 10 seconds back. As you can see, that Peter just got through the hairpin, and Westy is now in the hairpin. And we've got Stefan Winham separating him, and then as well as Tony Talvitier, the leader of the GTE, who Peter Jones just got around, will be next for Westy once he gets around Winham here. All right, I'm looking for battles. As you can see by the track map, everybody's spread out. Peter Villar is still in the pits. Did he have an accident that we missed? He's not coming out just yet. And let's see, Charlesworth pits from 12 overall. So Charlesworth is pitting after that spin, so he's finally going to put some tires on. Here is Westy. Peter Jones gets through. Ed Jones, now doing the pit stops, finds himself in 4th. What else we got? Somebody else coming in for pit. Winham is in the pit. All right, and here comes Peter Villar is finally coming out. So Villar's still in this race. That was a really long pit stop. So let's hope everything's okay. So Charlesworth, Stefan Winham in the pits for the GTEs. As daylight is upon us. Was that Talvitier? Yeah, Talvitier just kind of pulled over and let Westy through. Talvitier's not taking any chances as we are getting ready for the sunrise here. With just 41 plus minutes remaining. So I'm sure it's a refreshing sight for these guys to actually be able to see the track now. I'm sure the lights will be off in the next 10 minutes or so. Charlesworth and De Silva coming out to traffic coming out of the pit. There is Charlesworth with a fresh set of tires and a full tank of gas for the last half of this race, I would assume. All right, everybody's out except for Winham, still fueling up. So let's start from the back of the pack. There is Michael LaBelle currently in 8th. Randy Merrick in 7th, letting the leaders through. Carl Middleton holding on to 6th place. We saw his antics. He's had a little bit of bad luck in this race in that beautiful 8th Motorsports livery number 555. It's a beautiful car. And then Matej and Fischler. Right here is Fischler. And Fischler is only 5 seconds behind Robin Taylor, who is right here. So there is Taylor with Fischler some 5 seconds behind. And then Nick Westy about 40 seconds ahead of his teammate Taylor, but just 10 seconds behind the lead, Peter Jones. So, and I don't think Westy's yet to pit, and neither has Jones. So we'll pay attention to that and see what happens. I really wish, Westy, get a little bit of curb. As we see, that is Stefan Winham getting it wrong there. Into the hairpin goes Westy. There is Peter Jones. Some 12 seconds ahead, heading out of Spoon, it looks like. Yep, down to the back. And the 10th place car, Vandergeest, is in trouble. Oh my gosh, Vandergeest. Vandergeest is in trouble, chasing his tire. He is really close. Come on, John, you can get that thing to the pits. Oh my gosh, Vandergeest gets it all wrong, but he is right there. Let him in, let him in. Hold on, John. Just get it across, get it across. There you go. Get that thing into pit lane. What is he doing? He's only got 3 wheels. He needed a pit. Does he realize that? There he goes. Okay. Okay. I thought that he had missed pit road completely. So Vandergeest coming in on 3 wheels. Basically the Vandergeest tricycle mod. He will be loading up for some set of 4 brand new tires and 1 brand new wheel. There we go. Well, who is that behind him? Is also coming into the pits is Winham again. So Winham's in. That's going to move at Jones. Remember, Jones is battling with Vandergeest for this top spot. So that's putting Jones now in 3rd place. So let me get this right. Vandergeest has 2 points over Talvitier and 4 points over Jones. So Jones is now ahead of Vandergeest. But that 2-point, it's only a 2-point difference in scoring, I think. So he needs another spot. He needs Vandergeest to drop yet another spot and finish at least 2 spots ahead of him, I think, to tie him. Or maybe even get that spot. So that's going to interesting how that's going to pay out for the 2nd, 3rd positions in GTE. And then P2, that's the same kind of situation in the P2 class. Even though Westy has 24 points over Middleton, Taylor is only 4 points behind Middleton, and Descobler 7 points behind Middleton. So there is a shot here if Taylor and Mataj can finish ahead of Carl, which they are right now. It could make a big difference in the final scoring. And remember, these points are just not for this championship. Of course, the champion will be awarded for this series, but it goes for the 4-series year-long championship, so every point counts in both series. And Joe Brown now finds himself in 2nd, as that is 8th place. Middleton's who's in the pit? Who is that in the pits? Oh, it's LaBelle. LaBelle's in the pits. Okay. As well as Winham. Okay, so here's Nick Westy as the sun shines bright now. Lights can come off. He's still got that 12-second gap to make up for P1. But these guys have not pitted yet, I don't think, from this. And unfortunately, the number of stops is kind of out of whack on the RF2. I'm going to turn it on and we'll see if it works. So I got to turn the track map off to do that. So that once it rotates through, you're seeing the intermittent gaps between each car of the leader now. I'm looking for battles. I don't see anything. There's their number of stops. So see, Westy and Jones haven't stopped yet. So there you have that. Give you your track map back. So Winham's out of the pits, and a little bit of traffic there. De Silva now in 4th. He's in a good run for a shill today. Remember, as far as the scoring goes, De Silva, he's 26 points back of Edward Jones in 4th, so he is in solid 5th, 22 points over Winham. So Gilles just gets himself home. I think he's going to have a top 5 in this championship if he can just maintain. So, meanwhile, newsflash, the alien Tony Talvitier, the Flying Finn, our own Flying Finn at Sim Racing Online, has just put one of the P2 drivers, Michael LaBelle, a lap down. So he's actually ahead of LaBelle here now. So that just shows you his pace. Okay, here is your leader. Your P2 leader has a 14-point gap over Nick Westy as he heads through the hairpin. So you can see here comes Westy under the bridge now. So there's the difference. Oh, and you can see that's Charlesworth just behind him, spitting all kinds of sideways. So maybe Richard has a little bit less swing than might be needed for this circuit. He has been fishtailing all over this track. But however, he does find himself in 1, 2, 3, 4th place. So he's hanging in there. Vandergeest now out of the pits after his pit stop. currently in 6th, so he is going to have to do some of that driver stuff that he's very capable of. And I think some pit stops ahead are due. Tony hasn't pitted. I don't think Joe Brown is pitted. So we will see what happens with Mr. Vandegeest, because he was up there in 2nd place before he pitted. Randy Merrick currently in 7th. Just a little more than 30 minutes remaining at 32 minutes. Plus some change. There is Pichler coming out of that high-speed section. Now we do have a little bit of a battle here with Gilles between the two Porsches closing in on Charlesworth. So Charlesworth, with all that loose rear end activity, we see him sliding all over, has made it for Gilles, giving him Gilles a chance to catch up a little bit. You can see he's putting it off in the dirt. So Richard, well, he's got his hands full with that Porsche. Gilles is closing that gap. He's got it a half a second now. Dude, he's really getting tight here. You can see the damage to Gilles' car. These guys aren't messing around. This is for position and some valuable points to close out this round 6 of the Asian Series. Just to give you a little highlight of what's to come in that 84 F1 series, we're going to be racing like in South Africa. At Kalami, we'll be at Imola, we'll be at Dijon-Pignos, and Monza, and even Hockenheim, just to name a few of the tracks coming up in the next series. So that's going to be something. Meanwhile, 4th place, Matej. He's getting through some traffic, I believe. Let's check on that. Yep, he's going through Ed Jones, Nat Bet. So Matej currently in 4th, but the gap about 25 seconds to Taylor, and that gap from Taylor is about 47 seconds to Westy. So these top 2 guys have not pitted yet. And that should explain the huge gaps. It is about a 40-second pit stop, I believe. We're going to find out. But anyway. So Gilles' attempt to get through is interrupted briefly by Philip Pichler's P2 class getting through these 2 GTEs, but see if we can tighten that gap back up after the traffic passes. As you can see, Pichler getting through Charlesworth now, so. It gives Gilles a shot here to gain back some of that lost time. So where is Jones? Staying out. Westy staying out. You can see him in the last car in line there. There is your leader. And here is your 2nd place car in P2. About to put Michael LaBelle down a lap. Oh, don't get out of the way. Whoa, whoa, how you doing? There's a blue flag involved right there. Okay. Wow, that was almost an end it all. Wyndham will be next here for Westy to pass. As he almost got put into the fence as Westy makes his way through. That didn't help that gap anyways. It's now 11 seconds. And now LaBelle's going to get around Wyndham. All right. Very nice. Everybody's still in it. Pitchler going through turn 1, heading into the S's. Carl Middleton, currently in 5th, getting through some traffic issues. He's going through Vandergeest. He's working his way back through the field. He's some couple of laps down now, but I believe that's from the P2s. But he's got, Gilles will be next for Vandergeest, but he's some 38 seconds back. After that tire damage, that's, remember, his accident. He was having a great race, but that's going to really get these points all mixed up. Remember, Vandergeest, he's got only 2 points over Talvitier as he finds himself off in the dirt again and then getting out of Ed Jones's way. Ed Jones is about to come through. Currently in 3rd, where Vandergeest used to be up there in 3rd. I mean, he was in 2nd for most of the beginning of this race. But we got Peter Jones, our leader, trying to get through these two, so this is a little bit of a traffic jam. It's Jones trying to get through 3rd place. Jones and Jones. We got Peter Jones and Edward Jones. Peter in the P2. Edward just got past in the vet, and Vandergeest is next for Peter to get through as he goes flying by. Nicely done. Westy will be next for this group of cars, but he's some 10 seconds back. As you see, here he comes now. And let's see, what else have we got going on? I don't see any other tight battles. Everybody's pretty spread out here for this last 25 minutes. Well, Carl, Aces Motorsport, hanging on to that 5th spot. He was way up there. Just some bad luck today for Carl. Still going to finish with some good points and set him up for the next series with the 84 Formula One, where these points add up for the whole year. So I don't know if there's extra bonus points for winning. The top 3 spots might get an extra point each heading to the next. I can't remember how the rules were written out for that. I don't believe that's the case, but that would be cool, give you a little more incentive for each position. So Westy has taken over as Peter Jones must have pitted, because now Westy is in the lead. So Jones has completed a pit stop. I'm guessing. I have to go look now. And that's going to put Westy out in front, who has yet to stop. Coming through Jean Vandergeest now. It's showing them as 0 stops, but I don't think that's true. I think the reason, well, maybe not. Maybe Jones had an incident. Yeah, because pit stop will be more than 22 seconds, so I must have missed Jones going off. If anybody knows what happens, let me know in the chat. Holy smokes. Hard to keep track of all this. But Westy is our new leader now. There are your class leaders, Westy and Tony Talvitier. So interesting chain of events now, as Jones finds himself where it was a 12, 11 second gap to Westy, or from Westy to Jones. Now it's about a 7 second gap. So is that Westy in the pits now? So here we go. That was a quick stop. That was just a splash and dash. That's telling me Westy's keeping tires. He just put some fuel in there, and he's coming back out. So maybe that's the same thing that Peter Jones did, because where is Jones now? Jones is not in a good way. He's too far back. But the gap is now only 8 seconds. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, they did change places, so there we go. Hello. I'll get it together here. So I believe both of these guys, Westy now some 8 seconds back after the pit stop. But it's still showing Jones and Westy is not pitting. So that's the RF2 software. The broadcast software is not always up to speed. So we are set up for the finish now, as we are just at about 22 minutes, just under 22 minutes remaining. Westy some 8 seconds back. We got Taylor some 20 seconds back of them. And then Mataj is another 25 seconds back of Taylor. So not going to be anyone pushing for those spots, but let's see what happens here as the leader's going to get through Ed Jones, as he's just gotten around Michael LaBelle in the other P2 class. He's about ready to go around Edward Jones here to come down to start finish straight. Taking to the inside. And here is Westy just some 7 seconds back, so he gets through the Casio triangle. And there he is. There's first, and there is second. 7 second gap. So Joe Brown, second place GTE in that Austin. He's got some clear sailing here. All he's got to do is hit apexes, keep his pace, and he is going to find himself in second place behind Tony Talvitier, who's about to put Gel down a lap. I mean, you got to give it to Talvitier with this pace. He's 60.7 seconds ahead of Michael LaBelle, who is in a P2. And it's a lap plus down ahead of Joe Brown, who is in second place in the GTE. So that pace in that Porsche is really, really good. Talvitier really putting it to it today. Nice job, Tony, the flying pin. And Gilles got some traffic here. Who is at Jones in 11th? I was looking 16th place. So there's Peter Villar. And I believe that's Matej getting around him. So Matej currently in fourth, can bring home some decent points. He's only 7 seconds behind Robin Taylor, but he's got to finish ahead of him a couple of spots to catch him. So we'll see if what can happen in less than 19 minutes and 14 seconds. Then, of course, Carl. Carl currently in second in the points. 24 points back on Nick Westy. Only 4 points ahead of Robin Taylor. So, Taylor being 2 spots ahead might really squeak out a victory here. So, if we look, I just want to kind of get an idea. This is the way the points work out. So, as you can see, first is 40, second is 36. So there's a 4-point spread there. Third is 30, so there's 6-point spread there, and then it's so fourth is 28, fifth is 26, right? So it's only 2 points, and that's what these guys are battling for right now, I believe, is fifth. Robin Taylor's in third. Middleton's in fifth. So 26 points would go to Middleton. But 30 would go to third, which is Taylor. So that's a 4-point swing. That's going to tie that baby up. So there we have it. So things are getting a little dicey here as how the points work. Thank you for those, Neil Wood, for those graphics. So that's the business for Ace Motorsports. Meanwhile, Peter Jones, the gap is steady at 8. Westy's unable to close that, but I think he's in fine shape right now with that huge lead. He's got 24 points over Carl. Nobody's going to catch him at this point unless he finishes lower than there is possible, which is not going to happen. All right, and here is Westy. Then teammate Robin Taylor, some 22 seconds back. Looking pretty good for third. Sorry about that. Then here's Matej in fourth. Also fourth overall in the points. Some 7 seconds back of Taylor. Or 7 points, rather. So I don't think that's going to change unless Taylor wipes out, gets back into 8th. Here is Carl. Currently 5th place. As that's Randy Merrick right there behind him. And Pichler is ahead of Randy Merrick. I think Merrick's about a lap down now, though. But anything can happen here with 15 minutes to go here. We are just about the 15-minute mark. There is Merrick. Currently in 7th. And then Tony Talvite in the GTE is 8th overall. 8th overall, first in class. And then 9th in P2 is Michael LaBelle. Then we have 2nd in GTE, which is Joe Brown. Just getting past there by Robin Taylor. Just getting through this battle. Whoa, hello. And that's Gilles coming across. So that was a little bit dicey. And that is the 2nd place car of Joe Brown. And I think that's the 5th place car of Gilles back there, a lap down now. But Gilles here seen is only 14 seconds back of Charlesworth. So Charlesworth just ahead of him there. That is Peter Jones going through, the leader of the P1, getting around. The 4th place GTE of Charlesworth there, going into the Casio Triangle. So we're getting towards the end here. It's winding down. Don't forget, tomorrow, Monday night, we have AMS2's Formula 3 racing. What else do we have during the week? Let's just check the calendar here. I'll spit it out for you. So that's a VIR South 2 for that F3 race, which is a really tricky version of VIR. And then Saturday is the day to night race at Spa with Le Mans Ultima. Like, if you have that, so you might get it signed up for that. It's really going to be a fun race. You don't need any DLC for that one. It's all default content. You get the 2 free GTE cars. As we see going around here. Yes, sirree. Getting through. And then a week from today, we have the Formula Renault Magny Cours race. That'll be round 4 in R Factor 2. That's next Sunday, the 22nd. And then one of the last Project Cars 2 races will be round 6 of Mugello in the Ferrari 488 Challenge. Then June 26th, in a couple of weeks, is going to be round 1 at Dijon Pignos, historic in the GTE Formula 1. Or historic GT. And then following that, Le Mans 67 WC 1964 special events. And then, yeah, it'll be the last round 6 at Montreal and the F3s after that. So that's your calendar for the next couple of weeks. Meanwhile, back to the race at hand. We got just about 11 minutes remaining. There's your leader, Peter Jones. He's got that 7-second gap on Nick Westy. There is Westy. Not able to close that gap. So pretty equally paced, these two. And then Westy's Black Cat teammate, Robin Taylor, holding on to the 3rd place, that last step on the podium for today's race. Some 28 seconds back or so. And then we have a Matej Descobler in 4th, and he's some 20 plus seconds back. So these P2s are really spread out as we close in on 80 minutes with 10 remaining. So a pretty spread out gap after all the incidents we have. And here is Carl. Carl's only 9 seconds back on Matej, so I mean, if Matej has any kind of incident, that 8 seconds is going to go quick. And Carl might be able to jump up a spot. And then behind Carl, we have Philip Pichler, who just got through Charlesworth there in the green and blue Porsche, as you can see. Pichler currently in 6th. Randy Merrick in 7th. A good race today. And then, as we talked about before, 8th overall is Talvitier. 1st in class GTE, 8th overall. And then Michael LaBelle bringing it up. Getting around Vandergeest, who had that bouncing tire incident. That was a tough break for John. Still finds himself in 6th overall for the GTE, though. So not bad. Then Joe Brown in that Austin, currently in 2nd place. Then he's coming in, though, so this might make up the difference. He's finally stopping. Ed Jones is some 40 seconds back, so let's see where Ed Jones ends up. You can see he's coming out of Spoon now. So keep your eye on the track map. You can see the 10th position up there in the pits. As everybody else goes through, here comes the 5th place car, Carl Middleton, passing the pit. So that was a splash and dash. Splash and dash for Brown, so he's already on his way out, and that is going to assure him to stay in 2nd place. So that gap to Jones is about 20 seconds. So splash and dash for Brown just to finish this race, as we are just about 8.5 minutes remaining. 4th place is Richard Charlesworth. Had an interesting race. Had that thing loosey-goosey all day as the P2 gets by through. That is the 3rd place car of Robin Taylor that just got through. And then De Silva right behind him. Michelle having a good race today. Place, I believe. 7.5 minutes remaining as we get a little bit of warp factor. Hello, how you doing, everybody? Wow, RF2 things as we have more warpage. More warpage. Is that Carl getting through Ace Motorsports? Man. Scary stuff as we are counting down here. Just 7 minutes remaining and we just got to get through. There is Vandergeest. Still in it. After loss of a tire with that horrendous pit stop, but he's still finding himself in the points. Currently in 6th place, 14th overall. He does have a shot here at Gilles, though, so he could pump himself up into 5th place. Gilles has got the hang on, so we do have a little bit of a race here for these two with the last 6.5 minutes remaining. This is the only battle on track, 13th to 14th overall for 5th place in GTE. Vandergeest is putting on a charge. This could be a shot right here for Vandergeest. He's got to get up there through the hairpin, and then they're going to have that right-hander up into Spoon as Gilles gets it off and a little bit in the dirt. Vandergeest getting ready to pounce, and Gilles again losing the rear there, man. It's going to slow him down a little bit. I think Vandergeest is going to pounce. Here he goes. He's got to run. He's setting himself on the inside, but he's got to brake hard. This is a really tricky turn. As you can see, Gilles smoking the tires a little bit just to keep that apex in check. We got Merrick breathing down their notes. Throws out, and Gilles goes wide, and Vandergeest gets the spot. And the two GP2s get through. Whoa. So Merrick, Vandergeest pulls himself up into 5th. It's good recovery. Poor Gilles just got it a little bit wrong there, checking too much curb. As we are just at the 5 minutes remaining. So Merrick gets through, currently in 7th. And I believe that's LaBelle just behind him there in 8th. 9th overall, 8th in class. Wow, so that was a tough break for Gilles. Finds himself now in 6th place. And no current racing gaps here. Westy's still got that 7-second to make up with 4.5 minutes remaining. So despite any crashes or mistakes by Peter Jones, I think he's going to take it as he's crossing the line now. You should be able to see Westy. There's Westy now. So there's the gap between 1st and 2nd. As we are just at the 4-minute mark. 4 minutes remaining to bring Series 2 to an end. It's been a pretty exciting race. It's been a really good series. And I'm going to say it again, I haven't jinxed it yet. No DNFs this round. This could be the first round without a DNF in both series. All 16 drivers still present and accounted for. But let's get everybody home. 7.5 seconds is the gap. Let's see what it looks like from Westy. Crosses the bridge. Jones is nowhere in sight. He's already gone around the hairpin. A little bit of a gap. Might be able to see him here, but I don't think so. I'm sure he's already into Spoon. Yeah. Maybe down this last straight he might be able to see him at the end as Westy hangs on. It's a little greasy. We should be able to see him now if there's any chance at all. It'll be now, but because of the uphill, I don't think we're going to be able to. Nope. So he's already gone and through. That's the 7.5 seconds. Is a pretty big ask with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Meanwhile, a little bit of traffic here with Merrick, Televitier, and Charlesworth all bunched up here. There is your GTE leader and the 7th place car, Randy Merrick. And in front of them is Charlesworth, 12th overall, 4th in class. Merrick's just riding behind him. He didn't even go around him. I guess, is that LaBelle behind him? Yeah, that's LaBelle. So Merrick's a lap ahead of LaBelle, I believe. So it looks like Merrick's just content to stay behind Salvitier, not cause any issues. But LaBelle wants through and gets through, trying to unlap himself from Merrick, but does not gain any positions. And now going to get, both of them should be able to get through now. I would think Merrick would go blasting through. But it looks like Merrick's just content to hang out here with Talvitier. As we are down to the last minute. So with 62 seconds remaining, there's the leader right there getting through Gilles. So let's see. I believe he's going to make it through, and it's going to be starting of the last lap here because 50 seconds away, and he's already in Sector 3. He's coming down to the Casio Triangle. That gap is still 7 seconds plus. So here is Peter Jones in the P2 starting the final lap. White flag is out. This is the beginning of the last lap. So Middleton and Escobar have caught each other, and it is a 1.5 second battle. So Carl has a last shot here on the last lap to get a couple extra points if he can get it around Matage. Got some warping going on there. Hello. Maybe it's Carl that's warping. You guys have a little dirt run. Let's got Matage going there. Want to get that rear. There's the gap. No warp on Matage. Closing in. Oh, and Jones is moving the perfect pick, allowing. Oh, who's that? Peter Villar gets it all wrong, and he's stopped. Peter Villar's off. Meanwhile, this battle, this is it as they start their last lap. Carl Milton and Ace Motorsports all over Matage. He's looking to the inside. A couple of points are up for grabs right here. Matage is going to have to play defense. As Peter Jones is starting Sector 3. He's in the last sector. He's about ready to take the checkered. But this battle is not over, so we're going to switch to that really fast, and we'll come right back to this. So here comes Villar getting through Charlesworth. And Charlesworth let him through, and his race will be over. And there is your leader, checkered flag right there. Peter Jones. Nick Westy's going to take second, coming right behind. But meanwhile, third is Robin Taylor right back here. And then we have this battle for fourth. So here it is. The battle for fourth, Matej holding on. 3/10 of a gap. Oh, they're coming down. That last straight, you can see Taylor right there just went through. The really tough part of the track to pass as they're coming up to the Casio Triangle. Matej says, nothing doing. I'm going to hang on. No harm, no foul. He's right on the bumper. It's a drag race to the quick start. Finish line is right there. And Matej is going to hang on for fourth place. Brilliantly done. Nice dog. Carl Middleton finishing fifth. Very nice. Pitchler coming down. Pitchler's in sixth. Dalvitier is the GTE winner. See Randy Merrick right there. And Michael LaBelle right behind him as they're coming down the spoon there for the last time. So Merrick finally does go around Talvitier. And LaBelle around Talvitier. As Tony takes the Casio Triangle for the last time, there is your GTE winner. What a race today by Talvitier. Just left everybody in the dust. He lapped the entire field, and there is your winner for GTE. Talvitier sending it into the wall. Tires are flying everywhere. Holy smokes. How you doing? Joe Brown is going to take second. Ed Jones third in the vet. Nicely done, Mr. Jones. So the two Joneses did pretty good today. One winning his class and one finishing on the podium third in his class. There he is right there. Charles Worth and fourth. Vandergeest finishing fifth. So nicely done, everybody. Session results are underway and we are about to display. Here we have them. Peter Jones, your winner, 49 laps. Nick Westy second. Robin Taylor third, Matej Escobar in fourth, Carl Middleton in fifth, Philip Pichler in sixth, Randy Merrick finishing seventh, and Michael LaBelle eighth. And then we get to the GTEs, Tony Talvitier taking the first place, checker flag, Joe Brown getting second, Ed Jones in third, Richard Carlsworth in fourth, John Vandergeest finishing fifth after that tire loss, Gilles finishing sixth, Stefan Winham in seventh, and Peter Villar in eighth. There you have it, everybody. Holy smokes. That was some kind of a battle. That was some kind of a series. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. It was a race to the end all the way through, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the Formula One 84 Classic. That's it for me. I'm out. I will catch you on the next one. Hasta la vista, and I'll see you later from Sim Renting Online and Liberty Footwear and Merrick Farms. I thank you for staying with me, and we will see you on the next one.